it going, everybody? Welcome back to Level and Diecast showcase time today. Yes, Hot Wheels today. Hot Wheels 40th anniversary 40 car box set. This is what the box looks like. Obviously way too big to put it on the studio. Just no way we could get that in the studio. But this is what it looks like. There is a model represented for every single year of 1968 through 2007. First 40 years of Hot Wheels release. So this one is where we're going to kick it off with of course, a Camaro. Of course, a Camaro. So this represents for 1968. This is a 1967 Camaro, but it does represent 1968. This one has some nice red line tires on there. Looks pretty good. Does have an opening hood. A little bit stiff in there. Doesn't really want to open up. This is brand new right out of the package, so hinges aren't working all that great, but it is in a kind of a gunmetal gray, which looks really, really good. Black interior on there as well. All of these models, by the way, are exclusive to this particular box set. So we'll put that one up for 1968. 1969, we're getting super shiny right here. This, of course, is the twin mill. Nice twin mill, the original twin mill. So 1969 it says there. Looks pretty good. Couple of engines on there, super chrome. And of course, red line tires on this one as well. Chrome base as well. Very nice. So looks okay. Twin mill's been very many iterations in its life. I think we're up to twin mill like 3, maybe even 4. And of course, we've also gotten a tuned twin mill as well. All right, 1970, the King Cuda. King Cuda in pretty much Spectra Flame Pink, which looks really good. It's not perfect, but it's not bad for a mass-produced item. Of course, this one's all metal construction as well, just like the previous ones. You know, they were definitely a different era of models back then. No additional print or anything on there, and then no additional print on the back as well. But of course, this is a big-time heavyweight, being the, of course, King Cuda. So some nice shiny ones to start out with. All right, 1971, the school bus. This one is a pretty cool piece. This one also has red line tires. This also opens up. It is a drag bus. The little piece right here, it just slides onto the little metal cap right there. So just move it out of the way. A couple of V8s in there. So just to look ridiculous as you'd expect. But this just slides onto the front. Let's see if we can get that maybe popped in there. Maybe just have to say, let's not worry about that for now. But anyways, it's supposed to be a stand in there for to keep the top up. So it doesn't really want to close all that well now. So, as a matter of fact, I think what we'll do is we'll just we'll just leave it to the side for now. So that's just the way it was with mass-produced stuff. I'm sure this was a little bit better quality back in the day, but Hot Wheels was just pumping some stuff out at this point in time. 854 cubic inch, which has probably got to be for each one of those engines, maybe, because I feel like that's too small for just one of them. I'm just going to put our little stand right there. 69, 71, 72, 73, 1973. Yes, I'm going to have to keep track of the numbers here. Funny Money Truck. This one is a bank vault, literally, which looks pretty cool. Also has red line tires on there. This one also opens up as well. So this one will stretch out just a little bit. A couple of V8s in there as well with this one. It does have a stand in there. You know, it's kind of hard to see that black pole that's in the middle there. It's a stand to keep the top up, but it's still brand new, so it doesn't need no stand to keep it up. Detail on the bottom right there, obviously a reman casting. Not even using the original casting details or nothing like that, but it looks okay. It's a relatively small casting, but it's very heavy because, of course, it's solid metal. Everything's been solid metal so far. All right, 1973. 1973. All right. This is the Sweet 16. So there is your Sweet 16 right there on the bottom. This utilizes red line tires as well. Obviously, a ridiculous 16-cylinder engine. This hatch in the back also opens, but this one doesn't really want to open either. The part tolerances are not all that great. There's nothing underneath there. I think on the original Sweet 16 there was probably a spare tire under there, but clearly there's no spare tire added to the current iteration of it because, you know, that would be too expensive for Mattel, even though it is their 40th anniversary. All right, 1974. Yes, 1974. We're going to start rolling into stuff that's a little bit more familiar to the collecting crowd. This is your Roger Dodger in orange. Looks pretty good. Also, more red line tires. Of course, that is a plastic base, nothing particularly fancy. but it does have a nice metal engine in there, which looks good. Some flames on the top, looks pretty average. White interior on this one. It's an okay model. So I never really got big into the Roger Dodger, even though basically it's a Dodge Challenger. I just never really got into that whole theme of it. You know what I mean? All right, 1976. 1976. Yes, this is the large charge. The silver bullet. It's got a bunch of different names on the box. It is the large charge. It is a metal body and a plastic top on there. 200 miles an hour, high voltage it says on there. Yellow window. This also has some red line tires. This is a casting I collect. I do like this particular one. This one's okay too. I will be keeping some of these from this box set. I won't be keeping all of them because I don't collect all of these castings. As a matter of fact, that's the first one we've come across that I personally will decide to keep because I really just don't collect everything from Hot Wheels. All right, 1976. Let's see. 1976. Sorry, this is going to be hard to keep track of this. All right, 1976. This is your Corvette Stingray. It is red line wheels on there. Looks pretty good. The blue print looks nice. Some crazy decal on the top. So this is probably a throwback to a similar deco back in the day, but this one looks okay. This one is all metal as well, so very, very nice. There's your base deets on there. 1975 Mattel. Black interior, nothing particularly fancy, but it looks okay. It looks okay for 1975. It's alright. All right, 1978. We'll get back on track. I think I may have called that one a different number. This is 1978. We're up to 1978. My apologies. The GMC motorhome. This one says Palm Beach on the side. This is definitely an ode to the original deco for this one, but it was green, I think, instead of silver. But it did have the Palm Beach deco on the side, which looked pretty good. This one is all metal construction. This is an updated casting. They were using this for the Cool Classics series, so it was getting some pretty extensive use at this point in time from Hot Wheels back then. But your GMC motorhome looks good. I think the silver is brilliant. You guys know we love the color silver here on the channel for sure. Definitely nice silver. All right, 1979. Yes, of course, 1979. Our good old Hotbird. One of the cooler castings in the box for sure. The Pontiac Firebird. This is the modified casting right there with, of course, the Hot Wheels logo on the base that comes down from the interior. They were doing that quite a bit during this era. But this is, of course, still the original Hotbird for the most part. Does have, of course, your Hotbird on the hood. Your Screaming Eagle looks pretty good. Flaming Chicken, however you want to look at it. Red window looks pretty good. I think the brown and gold kind of two-tone with just a little bit of like burnt orange on the top looks good. The gold kind of modern Blackwall wheels look pretty good. Of course, those are updated Blackwall style. And then no prints on the back or nothing like that. But of course, the metal bases we saw. So that one is pretty nice. I actually really like that one. I don't collect that casting, but I guess if I did collect that casting, that would be one that I would be pretty excited to get. All right, moving on. Skipped forward. 1980. 1980. This is your AMC Gremlin. I think this is a Gremlin. Yep, AMC Gremlin. There's some pretty rare versions of this casting out there. Original versions, especially Real Riders. This one in green is the same deco that pretty much we got from the, I think there's a red and a yellow originally. I don't think it was released in green, but of course this is the redone casting, the revigorated casting, I guess you want to say. This is not based on the original mold or anything like that. Not like these models, which were based on exactly the original molds. These were kind of updated. So for 1980, there you go. It is kind of a flat track kind of racer for the AMC Gremlin, which I think is kind of an interesting look. It's all right. All right, 1981. Yes, this guy came straight out of 1981. This is your 3-window coupe. It says Hot Rod on the top. That is decoed up just like the original one, although it was red and that print on there was black. Of course, this one is not a. It's not a high raker, obviously. So they weren't making high rakers anymore. Those are the ones that had the adjustable rear section right there, so you could rake them up in the high, in the back, and we'll call them high rakers. Chrome interior engine area. It's pretty straightforward. The fenders are plastic. So nothing particularly fancy. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing really to sail home about. But that one looks okay. All right, 1982. This one's super cool. Now I do collect the Dixie Challenger. I don't do the Roger Dodger, but I do the Dixie Challenger. This one is in super chrome. It's super shiny chrome. It is, of course, the Dixie Challenger. 426 Hemi on there. Looks really good. A couple of variations for this for the Blackwall era from back in the day. Chrome base on this one. Updated casting as well. It looks good. Super chrome. I'm digging it. This is one that's going to go in the collection as well. So I'm pretty stoked about that one. So I'll put that guy right down there. So I think we're up to just a handful. We're going to do a large charge, the GMC, and of course the Dixie Challenge. That's kind of where we're at for right now. All right, 1983. Yes, 1983, the Z28 Camaro. This one is a little bit disconcerting, I guess, because I feel like it really should have had a metal base. I'm not sure why they put a plastic base on it, but it was just not a good choice. It feels really flimsy. There's no interior of this model either, so it just has a really dark window on there. The deco, on the other hand, looks really good. Obviously, no prints on the back, no prints on the front. It does have a little bit of a break in there for the grille or the interior piece, but it looks good. Z28 on the side, orange and red. I like it with yellow base, and then of course just a little bit of white on there. I think this particular deco looks good, and kind of the modern gold Blackwall wheels on there. I think that looks pretty good. It's not too shabby. All right, 1984. Yes, our 40 Ford Coupe. Never been a fan of this casting. This casting was pretty popular when it was new at the time, but I've just never really been a fan. It does have a pretty nice metal base on there, metal body and stuff like that. It looks good with the black walls. So this is harkened back to, I think, maybe one of the first decos. I think there was also a Rail Rider version of this too, with that same kind of black with some flames deco on it. Green tinted window on this one. I don't believe the original had a green tinted window. It could have had one, but this one has a really nice matte finish to the black as well, which is okay. Nothing to get too excited about that particular casting, so I'll throw that guy right up there. All right, 1985. Yes, this casting came from 1985. At least that's what Hot Wheels is telling you. On the base, I'll tell you it came from 1983. But it represents 1985. This, of course, is your Mustang convertible. It's like a 65 Mustang convertible. This one has a little bit of a bum hood, so it's kind of difficult to see. But if you look on this side, you see the hinge just wasn't crimped all that well. So this one just doesn't want to really open up. But it looks pretty good with the white walls on there. So black wall wheels with white walls, of course. I think it looks pretty nice. The blue looks pretty nice. The interior looks pretty decent as well. We certainly don't get interiors like that nowadays. And then, of course, there is your base deets. Unfortunately, made in China. And, of course, if you guys haven't noticed already, some of these are made in China, some of them made in Thailand, and some of them made in Malaysia. So, to me, it seems like putting this set together was a little bit of a logistical nightmare. All right, 1986. Yes, good old Pontiac Fiero. Not too many people have done Fieros. Hot Wheels was definitely one of them that did. 1986, this one looks very good. It is all metal casting, metal base, all that good stuff like that. It says Fiero on the hood, which I think is super cool. This is definitely one that I'll be keeping in my particular collection. I don't have too many Fieros, but we like the weird stuff, and of course Fieros are definitely weird, definitely a little bit out of left field, so we want to retain the weirdness, I guess. All right, another casting that I'll be collecting as well. This one for 1986. Yes, represents 1986. This is Vampira. I don't do too many Street Beasts. I like the fact that they were kind of different back then. They were different then. We get cars nowadays that are based on animals. They just don't have the same vibe. They just don't. But back then, they were kind of cool. Obviously, this was for a bat, of like a vampire bat. This uses the double 3-spoke blade wheels on there, which that was a modern wheel. I wish they wouldn't have used that wheel, especially since this was supposed to represent the 80s. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It is a plastic body, but there's quite a bit of metal on the base. So you see this one's also Malaysia. Got a couple of China. This one's Malaysia. So they are just all over the place. All right, 1987, one of my favorite castings of all time. There are many versions of this. This one's called the Phantom something on the box set, but this is basically the Zombot, and there's a bunch of iterations of this. Some with guns, some without, some other details that they've kind of modified. Same basic details for the model though, but it does stand up. It's still robot, so it does stand up. And of course it does run on wheels like it's supposed to. Actually runs on track pretty good. It's a little bit too light, but it does run on tracks pretty good. A little bit of print on there, nothing particularly fancy. And then of course just a chrome V8 engine on there to kind of show off some other deets. All right, 1988. Yes, 1988. The Talbot Lago. I think that's what it's called. Talbot something or other. This one is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I didn't think this casting was quite... I thought this casting was older than that, to be honest with you. It says 1987 on the base, but this one looks pretty good in green. It does have a tan interior, which is nice. It definitely has that opulent estate-looking vibe to it. And, of course, the white wall wheels are just very, very elegant. I guess you can put that as well. So that one's print's a little bit crooked on it, but that looks okay. Another casting I really collect, but I'm pretty sure I already have this one. I went pretty hard in the paint, so to speak, with the kind of pre-war era stuff with Hot Wheels. So I'm relatively caught up with that kind of stuff like that. All right, 1990. Yes, we are all the way up to the 90s, and we are moving into the Volkswagen Beetle. This one looks pretty good. This is also kind of a throwback to one of the original decos on it. It clearly wasn't the same colors, but the design that goes over the top of it looks pretty good. Volkswagen through and through does have the metal base to make that in the front. This looks good. And then something in the back. No prints. No nothing like that. It's not a split window either. Just a single window. It's a good one. Good one. Uses the modern, Blackwall 5 spokes. Looks good. I like that one. That's actually one of the cleaner decos I think that the Beetles got. It looks pretty good. All right, 1991. Yes, 1991 finally brings us the Purple Passion. And of course it's in purple. This was a pretty popular model. I don't really see it being very popular now. They still make this casting. As a matter of fact, it was actually released in I want to say maybe the D or E case this year for 2025. So it does exist, and I think it was a regular treasure hunt. But it has all the really nice matte finish on it. Looks really, really good. White wall wheels look pretty good. Other than that, the casting's not particularly that great. Not a fan of the Purple Passion personally, but I do like the purple window on this one because it really does match with the rest of the deco. All right, 1992. Yes, 1992. Moving into full-on Lincoln Classic Limo. This is also a throwback deco, just not the base colors and stuff like that. It's actually pretty close. This one's probably one of the closest decos to the original that they're kind of going off of. So it just says Classic Limo Service on the side, VJ. The white walls look good. Of course, it's open on the top. You can see inside. It's of course based 100% on a Lincoln Continental, which is pretty nice. This is a little bit of a long model, but it's not like crazy long. So it doesn't quite fit in like jammer cases all that well, but other than that, it fits okay. All right, 1993. Yes, we filled up the wall, but we're still got plenty to go. This is the 56 Flash Cider, representing 1993. The deco on the side looks okay. I'm not a fan of the 3-spoke. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I kind of wish that wheel would just have died. It wasn't a very good wheel. I mean, Hot Wheels used that wheel pretty extensively through the late 90s and early 2000s. But a little bit of print on the front for the 56 Flash Cider, just in purple as the base, and then of course a chrome base on there. Looks okay. So it actually says 56 Chevy on there. I think most of the models didn't even have anything on the base, to be honest with you. All right, 1994. 1994 brought us the Oldsmobile, the 442. A very, very small casting, a little bit too small in my opinion. So it just says 442 on the bottom. This is all right. This was used pretty extensively. It was also used for, I think, Demolition Man. The Hot Wheels set that they did with Demolition Man. They released that one in red. But again, this all exclusive colors right here. So that one in copper color with a couple of black stripes on there look pretty good. All right, 1994. Yes, we're up to 1994, 1995. 92, 93, 94, 95. 95. Okay, all right. This one is the Rigger motor. It's not a good casting. I've never liked this casting. It's very generic. There's a lot of good details to it. Like there's a flying like bat on the front. There's skulls that make up like the headlights. It's got a pretty nice V8 engine. Of course, this section here is a coffin. So if you look at it from this side, you can see it's actually a coffin set up. It's okay. I've just never been a fan of it. It just doesn't look right. I don't know what the deal is with it. It just, I don't know. It's a very, even though there's a lot of good like quirk details to it, to me it just looks like a pretty average casting, which doesn't make sense to me. All right, 1996. 1996 brings us the Dodge Ram F. Oh, ridiculous. Dodge Ram 1500. This one in black with a chrome base, a very interesting chrome base. A lot of details to this casting, though. It looks pretty good. This also has a removable topper on the back, which was a really, really cool idea that Hot Wheels included a topper with this. It was kind of revolutionary at the time for people to include a topper on a pickup. The red tinted window was weird, but they wanted to make it a little bit different, and it does say Dodge right there on the bed liner, or the side of the bed right there. Other than that, there's no prints on this entire casting, but it still looks okay. You know, and it's kind of weird that they did that for 1996. You know, don't do the drag bus. No, wait for 1997 and then do the drag bus. So yes, of course, the drag bus has been represented for sure. Hot Wheels would not be that ridiculous. So it does say Phil's Volkswagen Performance Parts on there. Farfignugan does have, of course, the little guy on the front. It says Hot Wheels on it. It is all metal, as you'd expect. It is, of course, a drag bus. Opens up in metal interior as well, metal engine section. So there's a metal base, and then the engine and the exhaust is a separate piece, but it's also metal. And, of course, the body's metal, and then it has a orange tinted window, which is interesting. Significantly different blue than the one that it's representing. This is a matte finish to it, so it just soaks up all that glare, which looks pretty good. No other additional prints on it. And then, of course, it has those interesting big, huge slicks in the back. But I'll probably be keeping that one too. I don't particularly hunt down the Volkswagen drag bus, but if I come across them, I'll throw them in the collection because, why not? All right, 1998. This is the Sweet 16 2, or Way Too Fast. Way Too Fast. I came up with a name, Way Too Fast. This one, pretty straightforward too. Just a couple of V8 engines on there, some checkered details on there. Not a huge fan of this one. It is a metal body and metal base, but the casting's just not very big. And of course, it just uses the PR5s, nothing, or I'm sorry, the 5 spokes. So nothing particularly fancy for that one for 1998. 1999. Yes, don't adjust your screen. That is not white. The original version of this casting, of course, for the Got Milk was white. This one is a very off white, kind of a cream colored. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting look to it. And then it just says Got Milk in yellow with a little bit of orange on the side. So it's quite different from the original that it's kind of harking back to, which I like. You know, it gets the same vibes, but make sure that you know it's a completely new, completely different version. Just has a chrome base on there, which really you don't see much on the chrome base, but a little bit of the bumper details, and of course the 2 exhaust pieces out the back. So 1998. Moving on to 1999, another disappointment. You may say, why? This one is also a plastic base. When this casting was originally new in 1999, this was a metal case, or metal base on that one. And it was actually a heavyweight. This was actually a really, really heavy model for this casting. It's big. Chevelle is appropriately sized, I feel like. But when you add the metal base on there, it just becomes super, super heavy. Details on the front, quad headlights, no stripes on the hood, the top, but there's hood and trunk. It looks okay. Burgundy color. The original version was blue with white stripes on it, which actually looked pretty good. All right, 2000. Yes, 2000. We are all the way up to 2000. This is the Evil Twin. Another casting I'm not a big fan of. It's pretty boring. There's just nothing to it that excites me. And now we're getting into just like regular like models and stuff, so there's not really any extra details to these. There's not really any extra flair. It's basically just a modern mainline model just pulled into this pack with just a special deco. This one happens to be blue. So nothing particularly fancy on that. 2001, yes, 2001, brings us the Mercury Cougar. Again, it's an okay casting. At least this one gets a little bit of a color break with a vinyl top on there. But gold color on this one, still has chrome base. They used a lot of chrome, obviously, in this set. Kind of shows some cost, I guess, so to speak. Not exactly the most cost effective, but it looks nice in the packaging, you know. So that one right there for 2001. 2002, this is the Surf Crate, or 8 Crate. It's the 8 Crate, that's what it is. See, this one's made in Thailand, so these are all over the place. This one's really nice with the two-tone because it's like two different types of paint. That blue on the bottom is like textured, and then the purple on the top is like a matte finish, and it just, I don't know, it feels really good in the hand. It feels good to like feel it. I don't know. It doesn't look all that great. I think the chrome's a little bit too much for the blues, but it's a cool casting. It's got a ridiculous engine inside, and you know, it's meant to be like a drag car. Nothing particularly fancy on the base, so it's pretty much just a race car. It's a generic, but it's based on probably some type of Chevy or something like that, I would assume. So we'll put that guy right there. All right, 2003. 2004. Oh, I messed up. We're going to have to go back. 1999. This one is 2001, 2002, 2003. I knew I was going to do this. Look, I'm human, okay? I knew I was going to do this. This guy is 2000, so I do apologize. We're going to have to go back a little bit. This is the blast lane for 2000. This little motorcycle was hiding from me, that little bastard. This one is a pretty good version. I really like the fact that they put a little bit of extra print on the handlebars, which really sets it apart. And then, of course, it gets a couple of prints for headlights. And, I mean, I like this casting. I'm not a motorcycle guy. This is kind of a fun casting to collect just because they make so many different versions of it. And that's definitely one I'll be keeping because I really like that. So 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. My apologies. 2004, we are back on track. The Dodge Charger. This one has a yellow tinted window, which is really weird. But it has some nice flames on it, which of course were on the original version of the casting. It says Charger on there, RT on the striping. Again, more chrome base. It says opening hood. This one opens significantly more. Try to get a little bit of light in there. See the big old Hemi down in there. It's actually quite detailed underneath the hood. And you got battery detail and all kinds of hose lines and stuff. It's actually a pretty decent detail one. So that one looks good. Probably not one I would keep, but it looks good. So we'll throw that guy right there. 2005. 2005 brings us, of course, the Pontiac Firebird. This one, I think, debuted in white with blue stripes. So this one is blue with silver stripes. Just says Firebird on the top there. Super chrome interior. I really don't like when they do chrome interiors. I'm not a fan of chrome interiors at all. Chrome base on this one as well. Details on the front look pretty good. And then details on the back. No prints, no extra stuff like that. There's a little bit of print right there on the top. The Firebird logo looks okay. This is another one of those models that had the Hot Wheels logo pressed through the base. But because the interior is also chrome, the Hot Wheels logo gets chrome as well. So we'll throw that guy there. Make a little bit of space right here. That one was for 2005. 2006. 2006 brought us the Plymouth Superbird. This casting has had a ton of life since this was debuted. This one represents 2006. The print is a little bit off on the M. That's okay. But this side looks pretty good. It does have, of course, the black vinyl roof. The black section right there for the headlights. No taillight prints or anything like that. Again, another chrome base. Another model with the Hot Wheels logo embossed in there. That was a pretty big fad they were doing. I wouldn't be surprised if that came back, to be honest with you. I feel like that's going to come back. And then the very last model, 2007. This is your Chevy 2. So for 2007 Chevy 2, it's copper with white stripes on there. This is a really good casting. I don't collect it, but the casting itself is really, really nice. I think they got the perfect stance to it. It even looks good with these PR5s on there, which are not the greatest wheel, especially when you're talking about a classic car. But just the fit and finish of this casting is really, really nice. I thought they did such a good job with this. It just doesn't do anything for me. So I don't collect that particular casting. So not quite fitting on the screen there, but there we go. So there you go. There is your Hot Wheels 40th anniversary 40 car box set. Sorry I kept forgetting the years. It's, you know, there's a lot of cars to go through, so I try to keep that in there. I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy bringing you diecast. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think about the 40th anniversary. You got a special model in there. I'm going to be keeping, let's see here. We're going to keep the Large Charge, the GMC. I'm going to add the Dixie Challenger, the Pontiac, the Vampira. I think I already have this guy, and I think I already have this guy, but if I don't, I'll add those two. The same with the limo. I'm pretty sure I have the limo. 56 Flash Rider, we're going to add that one. The Ram I already have. Keeping the Volkswagen, Blast Lane, and then that's it. Everything else is going to go to somebody else. So drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about that. We'll catch you next time here on Level M.